I'm meteorologist Lee Goldberg in the Weather Center. Quick weather update. You won't miss a second of jeopardy. The tornado warning over western New Jersey was allowed to expire, but confirmed tornadoes northeast of the Philly area. Tornado watch will continue until 1 in the morning. We've got severe storms over western New Jersey. We've got very heavy rainfall, 1 to 2 inches an hour getting into New York City, Hudson Valley, western Long Island, and Connecticut. Flood warnings over more than half of the area. The brunt is now until 1 o'clock in the morning. Flooding into the morning hours up to 8 inches north and west. More coming up throughout the night on ABC 7 NY. All right, welcome back to ABC 7 NY as we continue the storm coverage here on ABC 7 NY. And good news to report if you just missed that update on Channel 7 leading into jeopardy. The tornado warning that was out for Hunterdon and Somerset and Mercer County was allowed to expire. There's still some strong winds with that storm. Very heavy downpours. Still could be a damaging storm. And there's also still a tornado warning northeast of Philly. There was a confirmed large tornado outside of the Philly area. So this is an incredible storm outbreak with basically this dual threat we've been talking about, from the flooding rains, which will cover more of the area, and then this isolated tornado threat. And the other thing that has happened is that the tornado watch, which was initially just over parts of northern New Jersey, central and southern New Jersey, was expanded to cover New York City, the lower Hudson Valley, Connecticut, and also Long Island, and that'll go until 1 in the morning. The actual core of the remnants of Ida is essentially going to go right underneath New York City, so you've got that natural rotation with this storm. So right now, taking a look at that radar, see all that area of green? I mean, that's still shear markers. There's still very strong winds with this that can be transferred down and can cause some wind damage. It doesn't have to be tornadic, so we can still have some damage there. And you see the rainfall right there that's working over parts of central New Jersey right here. And these are rainfall rates that are running at about 1 to 2 inches an hour. It's going into Staten Island. It's going across the Verrazano into Brooklyn as well. So you can see these moving off to the north and east. So here's the loop right here. Very heavy rainfall over the Hudson Valley. We've already had 3 inches or so from Pike County into Sullivan County along the I-84 corridor, and we still got a long way to go till after midnight, till this shuts down. And then you got the very heavy rainfall over northern New Jersey, New York City, into parts of Nassau County. Looks like a thunderstorm right there. It's not too far from Plainview. And then you notice how we've got kind of a zone here where it's quiet over southern Ocean County, even southern Monmouth, and then over into the east end of Long Island. It's been a couple of downpours. So basically the theme going forward here is the severe threat here is basically south and east of the center of circulation of Ida, and the north and west you get some of the heavy rain, and then there are some areas that get hit with both the flooding rainfall and the severe weather threat. So flood warnings are covering more than half of the viewing area out here. So, you know, we've already had about an inch of rain in New York City now, half an inch to an inch. Then we're piling up the rain on Long Island. I mean, only eastern Suffolk County, Monmouth, and Ocean don't have the flash flood warnings right now. And by the way, you know, just north and west of New York City, we can put down anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of rain in isolated totals up to about 8 inches of rain. Of course, our rivers are going to be rising as well. So the brunt of this storm, we're in it now till about 1 o'clock in the morning. Then the heaviest rain will start shifting east of New York City. And I say 1 in the morning, Long Island, you have to deal with it maybe 3, 4 in the morning before some of the heaviest moves offshore. And the final raindrops right around daybreak are moving off of Montauk. But this flooding rain is raining at 1 to 2 inches an hour, in some cases maybe even a little more than that. And of course, thunderstorms have the capacity to bring tornadoes. And again, New York City is under that tornado watch until 1 o'clock. We could have tornado warnings in New York City. 3 to 6 inches of rain, as I said, locally 8 inches just to the north and west of New York City. And the street and river flooding is likely. If you missed our evening shows, we were talking about the Saddle River at Lodi and areas along the Passaic River, the Whippany River, Rockaway, Raritan. I mean, all these rivers could go into major flooding as we go into the next 24 hours as all this water drains in. One thing I was watching here is just a couplet of the winds looking at these severe storms. So to give you an idea what I'm looking at here, these are called, velocities. And the red, we're using a radar in Mount Holly, New Jersey, and the red means that the winds are going away from the radar, and the green means the winds are going toward the radar. So you can see that natural circulation. So there are 2 areas that we're watching, and while the overall couplet has weakened a little bit near Hopewell and south of Raritan, I mean, it's still an impressive looking storm that can bring some wind damage here. Hillsborough in its line, over to Franklin. So yes, the tornado warning was allowed to expire. That doesn't mean it won't be reissued. And just to check on it here while we're on the air, I just want to make sure it hasn't been reissued because I don't like the way that that's looking. So hold on one second. Sort of a work in progress here. This is going to be a little muddled in terms of, so we have a severe thunderstorm warning. So it went to severe thunderstorm warning for Hunterdon, Middlesex, Monmouth, Morris, and Somerset counties, and that'll go until 8 o'clock. So that's a full hour there. So that's that couplet. Now let me look at this one, which looks more impressive. And this is still a tornado-warned storm that's about to move into southern New Jersey. So this one, we'll have to see if its structure holds together into places like Manalapan or Jackson. I mean, into western Monmouth and Ocean County. We'll have to watch those two clusters. There's also a little bit of shear, at least some strong winds right here. Working near West Gilgo Beach and east of Massapequa. So, you know, we definitely have the tornado watch that's over parts of Long Island as well. So those are the areas under the gun for the severe weather. Let me just switch to the overall radar and let's do, again, another analysis of what's going on. Look, there's the confirmed tornado over southernmost New Jersey. And you can see what's going on over Long Island. So over Montauk, little downpour here. It gets heavier as you go farther west. So near Lyndhurst and over to West Babylon, some heavy rainfall. Same thing over Hicksville. So just bands of heavy rain, and then it's just more consistent in terms of solid heavy rain from Bergen into Rockland, Westchester County, into Orange and Putnam County, raining very heavily. You see how there's the back edge right here. The core of what was Ida is headed into the Philly area right now, and it has merged with a front, and it's basically going to travel right out across central New Jersey, central southern New Jersey, probably right out near maybe between Long Branch and Neptune as we go through the overnight hours and then begins to pull offshore. So that's what we're watching as we go into the evening hours. Let's go ahead and look at the futurecast here, and I'm going to take you through the time periods. Okay, so this is initialized pretty well where you see, if we can just come outside, you've got the severe weather that's working through northern New Jersey right here. It's got a bullseye there not too far from Old Bridge, potentially severe weather here. So again, all these areas under the gun for some tornadic activity going into New York City here. You've got another cluster coming into Ocean County. So that's picking up on it well. All right, so let's move it forward in time a couple of hours here through about the 9 o'clock hour. And you can see we could have some heavy thunderstorm severe weather working over the western end of Long Island Sound, potentially lower Westchester, maybe near Stanford, over to Greenwich, over to Norwalk, and then that severe weather that could potentially be over LBI at that point, which you're no stranger to all that. And then, of course, the heavy rain that's still going on over the Hudson Valley at that point. So we're raining very heavily, and then look how it starts after midnight. And remember, I told you about the brunt being till about 1 o'clock. See how some of the heaviest now looks like it's east. This is moving right along. Could be east of the city after 1 o'clock. Still be hammering Connecticut and Long Island, and then moving east, and look how the heaviest moves offshore by 4 a.m. And by that point, a clearing line is already coming into parts of northeast New Jersey. So it won't be long before we actually clear out and improve tomorrow. And by the way, there is some wind with this core coming through during the overnight. There already have been some gusts close to 30 miles an hour. So with all this rain, the soft ground, the trees are vulnerable, even at those low wind thresholds, to see some power outages. So keep that in mind as we go through the evening hours and we clear out. This has been updating throughout the evening hours, and you can see right here where the heaviest band of rain is going to be. It's going to be over parts of Hunterdon, Somerset, Union, parts of Essex County, Passaic County, I mean, very close to New York City, into Bergen and Passaic. These are the areas that can get over 6 inches of rainfall. Into Rockland and Westchester, the highest risk of flash flooding here. And of course, you see how the core of that rainfall is right over the Passaic River Basin. So we're getting some of our heaviest rain right over the rivers. You go to the south, and there's still some very heavy rainfall, but it might be more of a 1 to 3 inch total here, but you're more at risk for severe weather as we go through the evening hours. So that's the way it's shaping up now. I just want to check all of our warnings here before we drop off, and if we have to do another update during the evening hours, we'll be certain to. Okay, so there it is. So there is yet another tornado warning right here, and that was one I told you about that still looked like it had some rotation to it. The tornado warning is for Mercer County Excuse me, and that's until 7:30 this evening. So I want to go ahead and I want to crawl that on air on Channel 7. So we're going to hop off ABC 7 NY right now. But again, if you're in the path of that storm in Mercer County, and especially in southern Somerset County, Middlesex County, that could be tracking your way. You want to make sure you take cover right now as you are in the path of a very dangerous storm along with the flooding. So we're going to hop off ABC 7 NY right now and crawl that warning. You'll see it on Channel 7 during Jeopardy right now, and we'll keep you updated throughout the evening. Thanks for clicking on ABC 7 NY.